and this is Healthy Hendy's Cooking. Today we're going to be cooking Paleo Lamingtons. Okay, so for the first step we're going to be mixing 200 milliliters of melted coconut oil, 2 vanilla pods split and seeds scraped, I'm not sure, and half a cup of honey. And now we're just going to whisk this with our whisk. It's going to be a bit tricky because of all the sticky substances in here. Whisk it up. Okay, so hi, I've just finished whisking my coconut oil, my honey and my vanilla bean. And now what we're going to do is we're going to crack 8 eggs into a little glass. If you're meant to be using like an electric mixer, but because we don't have one, we're going to be using the Magic Bullet. This could also be like the NutriBullet, anything that can really blend or whisk your eggs. And if you don't have any of these things, just give it your best shot of whisking it yourself. It might take a while, but you'll get there. And what we're going to do is, after we've sort of whipped these till they're nice and fluffy, we're going to gradually, add our coconut oil. So just take this out and pop the lid on. Okay, so I've just finished sort of blending or whisking my eggs, and now they're nice and light and fluffy. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take it off and take off our lid if I can. There we go. Give it a little hit. And there's a lot of egg in there, so what we're going to do is probably maybe split this into 2 cups. So we'll grab this other cup here and we'll pop a bit in this cup. So about that much in that cup. So we've got, and we'll pop that over to the side. And then we'll just gradually add a bit at a time, so there, about that much to there. And then we'll screw the lid back on, pop that back down. But before we do that, we're just going to add some of this into here for next time. Okay, so we've got that in there. Okay, now we're going to now we're going to take off this lid and give it a little shake one more time, a little tap. We're going to add some more into the mixture. And it really doesn't actually fill up the cup as much because it's sort of just sitting on the bottom, not really filling up the cup, but sort of just seeping through the liquid and sitting on the bottom. So we're going to pop that back on. So guys, obviously if you're using the electric mixer, you won't be stopping and starting. You'll just be whipping your eggs and slowly add more, and just slowly add it in so it can whip like that. But yeah, we can do it. After I left, I just added the last bits of the coconut oil mixture into my blend and then blended it one last time, and then I repeated the exact same steps on my smaller cup. So now what I'm going to do is just add in my blended mixture. Get it all out. Add in both cups, nice and foamy. It's exactly how we want it. Okay, now we're just going to set this mixture aside for a few seconds. And now I'm going to grab my dry ingredients. So for my dry ingredients, I've got 1 cup of tapioca flour. I've got 1 cup and 3/4 of almond meal. And then I've just got 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So now with the whisk, I'm just going to mix this together. Just nice and easy. Doesn't need to be fully mixed or blended or anything. Just make sure that it's nice and mixed in. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to grab my wet mixture and I'm just going to add in my dry ingredients once they're all mixed and whisked. Give that a little tap. Okay, so now we're not going to be using our whisk for this next part. We're going to be using a spatula so that we can fold the mixture through instead of whisking it. So just fold that through, and this might take a while, but just be patient because at the end this will all taste so yummy. Once I've continued folding through my mixture, I found that it's so lumpy and it's very, very liquidy. I believe this is from the blender I was using, the Magic Bullet, NutriBullet, whatever blender you're using, be warned that it can be a bit chunky and liquidy. So I'm going to bring back in my whisk and give this a little whisk. So tap that on the sides, pop that back in there, and just give it really the best whisk I possibly can just to get out all of those chunks. So I've continued whisking my mixture, and I found that I got rid of the lumps. It only took me around 10 to 20 seconds, just really fast, really hard whisking, and I got those lumps out really easily. So the mixture is still a bit runny and liquidy, so what I'm going to do is just add about maybe a quarter more of a cup of almond meal and just see what that does. So we'll just add a bit more almond meal. Just add that in, give that a little tap, and then just whisk that through. So after I added that almond meal, I decided to add a tiny bit more almond meal. So at the end, we pretty much added about half a cup. Then after that, it was thickening, but not the thickening texture, thick texture that we want. So we added about half a cup more coconut flour, and it's definitely thickened the mixture a lot. And I just suggest quickly, if you are a young child or you do not have muscles, I had my trusty assistant help me whisk this because I'm getting very sweaty. So just be sure that you've got someone there to help you along the way because the whisking can get tiring. So now that we've finished doing our mixing our mixture, if yours still isn't thick, I just suggest adding more coconut flour and anything that's really absorbing liquids in flour. So coconut flour is probably the best for that. So now, earlier we prepared some baking tins and just popped some baking paper over the top. And also at that time we preheated the oven. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour this into our baking tin. If we have any leftovers, we'll pop it in the other baking tin. But we might not. We do have, should I just add it all in? Yeah, we'll just give it a go. Guys, we didn't really have a massive baking tin, so we decided to prepare a smaller one too, just in case we had leftovers, but it seems that we've got the perfect amount, which is awesome. So I've just popped that in the oven, and I'm about to leave that for around 25 minutes. So our cake's been in the oven for a bit over 25 minutes, so we're going to pop it out. It's looking beautiful and brown around the outside, and the middle of it is popping up and making a nice little hill. So we'll take it out. We'll just turn it off. Oh, it takes a while, doesn't it? Went the whole way around. Okay, so if you guys want a little hint on what your cake, push that down further, should look like, guys, just remember to be safe. Oven mitts are good, or tea towels. Just remember that if you are not experienced with your oven, remember to always have a parent around. That's the best thing you can do. So now we're going to grab this out. Oh, it burned itself! Just kidding, guys, but really do be safe. Here, and just pop it onto your little oven racks or whatever you've got prepared. Just make sure that it's not going on your surface. So, okay, so now I'm going to tell you how to make the chocolate icing. So what you're going to need is put all your ingredients into your bowl. So underneath this coconut milk there is half a teaspoon of vanilla powder. We have vanilla powder, but if you have vanilla bean, that's probably best. You will need half a cup of coconut milk, half a cup of carob powder, half a cup of cocoa powder, and 3/4 of a cup of coconut oil, and 4 tablespoons of honey. But because we didn't have enough coconut oil, we only did 2/4. If you guys have enough oil, just do 3. Perfect. Okay, so the recipe says to whip this or blend this with an electric mixer, but again, we do not have an electric mixer. Just quickly to tell all of you who do have an electric mixer, it says to keep all of your ingredients in the bowl, grab your electric mixer and just mix on low for around 1 minute. If you are doing what we are doing and using a blender, we're going to be using the Magic Bullet. If you have the NutriBullet, any type of blender that will really whisk fast and hard, then that's what you're going to need. If you don't have any of these things, just give it your best shot of whisking it as hard as you possibly can, as fast as you probably can. It might take a while, but you will get there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, just before we pop this in their cups to pop them on the Magic Bullet, we're just going to give this a small whisk just to get everything mixed in, so it's a bit easier for the Magic Bullet to sort of do its job. So we're just going to mix it in a bit. Oh. Guys, this does get messy, and just a warning to everyone, when you put the ingredients in, I got so messy and the whole bench was just covered in mess. So it took me around 5 minutes to clean up, but it was all worth it. So now we're going to divide our mixes into the cups. If you guys have an electric mixer, just skip this step. Oh, oopsies, we dropped a bit there, that's okay. Okay, so now we're just going to head back over to our famous Magic Bullet, and I ended up only putting the mixture in 1 cup because when I put it in, it sort of just set through and sort of stuck together. So now what we're going to do is just pop that down and blend. Once it's all mixed together and smooth and thick, just like ours, just separate it into a bowl. This looks so good, guys. I'm so excited to pop this on my Lamingtons. Guys, yours might be a bit more liquidy or like a bit more runny because of the coconut oil. You use more coconut oil than us, but that's okay. So now we're going to cut our cake into the little squares, perfect for the Lamingtons. Guys, remember, if you are going to be using a sharp knife, which you will need for this, you need to have your parent either doing this or with you and being a guardian, I guess. So I'm just going to cut off, we may need a different one, we're good. Just cut off the edges of this, just so that we don't have any like bad edges there, and just check that your cake is perfect. You don't need to cut off too much, just a side so that your cake is nice and straight. So now that I've leveled off my cake, this is fairly easy, but it's still a bit bumpy, but that's okay because we're going to get heaps of chocolate icing on there. So now what I'm going to do is just cut it into little squares. So just go across the lines here. It's time for the funnest part of all of this cooking. So we're going to grab one of our squares, we're going to do all of the squares, and just grab some of our beautiful chocolate icing. If yours is more like runny, then you can probably just drip it over, but ours isn't as runny, so I'm just going to sort of spread that over. We don't need too much. If you guys want to pack yours on, then you can pack it on. But we're not going to pop them on the bottom. It gets very messy. Make sure your hands are washed, guys. This is very messy. Okay, now from there, we're just going to go in and sort of just, oh my god, roll this around in there. Sort of just make it really nice and yummy. And then we can pop it over and let that sit there. You might just want to put a little more on the top just to make it cool. And then you can just spread that down. Okay. That one looks good. Okay, on to our next one. So all of our Lamingtons are finished! How exciting, and they are looking so good. But one analogy that we made is that if you can see down here, this is with just the shredded coconut. They look so cool and funky. And the shredded coconut still looks really good, but we really like how these ones look. Okay, so let's pop these yummy things in the fridge. And then I'm just gonna grab my cake scraps, pop them in, and we're ready to go. Woo! Okay guys, so I just wanted to tell you that it's a day after we made these Lamingtons, and they are delicious. It's a rainy day, and they're so perfect to have on a rainy day like this. I mean, wow, I'm so proud of them. I mean, they're just perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I will see you guys next Wednesday when we cook another sweet recipe.